Hello, everybody. I'm Benny Urquidez, and matter of fact, Sensei Fire Boys, Sensei Fire Boys. What we're gonna do is talk a little bit and have a discussion, an open discussion on teaching and film industry. Just all about, it's all about connectioning between, males and females of energies.
Absolutely. So with all this stuff going on with the entertainment industry right now, and all these men, and all the stuff that's going on with women, obviously we don't have the point of reference of a woman, so we can't talk, from a woman
Sure.
perspective, but as a man perspective, and with the little bit of experience that I've had in martial arts and for you for years, I would say that number one failure of martial arts schools is after not knowing how to run a business, putting that to the side for a second,
Sure.
is not the men that we are, and that I am, not being able to control our urges or the way we treat our female students or the moms, and my question was, and that's one of the things I've always been so blessed, to have you as a teacher, and I've seen you where, there's 10 students and there happens to be 8 women and 2 guys. You have the same energy level as if it is 10 guys. I know, talking for myself, I'm going to confess, my own sin, and I've been getting better at this. But I think I would treat a different class a little bit differently if there's, there's 10 people and there's 9 beautiful girls, women in there. I think I would subconsciously, at least, I think I would treat the class differently, even though I don't want to. But being the man I am, good or bad, we're not discussing, good or bad. But why is it that instructors have this tendency not to be able to control their urge, and why do they groom the female students? Like, I know many people, I can't think of so many of them off my hand, and that
We don't need to put names out there, but yes,
Right,
I got
but,
it.
I mean, they groom them.
Yeah.
Like, they be nice to the mom because they work with the kids. Oh yeah, your kids are so good, but they're really grooming the mom.
Sure.
And it's like, there's a part of me looks at that, goes, oh my God, how weak can I be, And so what do you say to this? And I know it's a man thing. It's everywhere in every business, but why in martial arts? And this is it's like an elephant in the room, right? Nobody wants to talk about it, but what are your thoughts about that?
Well, it's like anything else. First of all, when you get women, and sometimes, it's almost like, like in school, you have the teacher. You want to be not the teacher's pet, but the teacher, and you want to be close to the teacher. Yeah. And so in that, sometimes women want to be close to their teachers. And so in that, sometimes, teachers get the wrong intentions. And so what happens, and it's not so much, the temptation, okay, with a lot of instructors, because when you have a lot of women, and they want to be good, so and the only way they can get better, as they say, get close to the teacher, and the teacher will be able to put more time in making you good. But what happens, it changes sometimes, and the teacher starts to feel like, okay, this one here is giving me a lot of attention. And so temptation is always there. Temptation is always there. But what happens when you talk about urge is a chemical within a man, even in a woman, but within us. And we're good at being able to see temptation and deny it, hide it, run from it, block it. But you cannot do that with urge. When you have urge, that chemical inside, hey, and a lot of times, we look at something and say, oh God, I got to get away from this because if I stay, I'm going to be in trouble. And you're going to be in trouble.
But isn't that what having integrity is? Like, people say, I have integrity. You can't have integrity. integrity is a moment by moment choice.
That's right.
Because I'm having a conversation with one of the moms, and I know in my heart I can take the conversation a little
Any way
bit
you
this way or a little bit and that's, as a martial art instructor and as a martial artist.
That's right.
And as a man.
That's
and
right.
As a father, that's when I get to go to work.
That's right.
The rest of the stuff I play. This is fun, but those are the moments I know, God, if I can just say this one thing and I can take this all the way on the other side, that's when I go to work. And I think most of us instructors forget that's what we train for.
That's right.
We train for that one moment of our reaction to what's happening to us. Let it be a street fight, let it be somebody calling us name, or a moment with a female student, right? And to me, that's integrity.
That's right.
Right? And I appreciate it because you're probably the only one that I know that you have no eye for that. I mean, it doesn't matter 1, 2, 3, 10, or the most, I've seen you teaching some of your actresses and coming here. These are beautiful women. And I've seen the way they look at you and then I see the way you look at them and it's like, oh my God, I want to have that kind of self-control that for you, it doesn't matter who it is. It's a client, it's a student, and you treat them the same. And there's a part of me that wants to be like that. I appreciate it. I look up to it. But in this time and age, it's rare because I hear so much opposite. Right?
Well,
There's instructors that I don't trust my wife with or my daughter with, and they're the greatest fighters in the world. Right? But they have no think of a control, right? What are your thoughts?
Well, you know what? Because again, that's really where the fight's at, like anything else. The fight is within ourselves.
Right.
And the fight within ourselves is you have to look at, okay, we all have choices, and the choices that we make, either you have strength behind your choice, or you have weakness behind your choice. Right. And that strength behind your choice is because I've been there, I've done that. And you know what? I don't like that.
Right.
I don't like how I feel. I don't like where that's going. So there's sometimes that weakness that when you start to entertain it, you're done. Right. You're done. Once you start to entertain the fact that, well, I could take it this way, and you start to entertain that, then it goes deeper and deeper. That's when the trouble starts. So the idea is to be able to recognize, okay, yes, this person is giving me leeway, and you say block it right there. Because again, either you're the sensei or you become one of the girls. Right. Yeah, you become part of them. And so it's not an easy thing. It's never been, as a teacher, it's not easy. But at the same time, you're talking about integrity. You're talking about, know.
But, I dislike when people talk about, well, that's how we are. That's men. That's how it's been in the history. and I know I'm going to confess some of my own sins. And I know I've done that before. And I lost some beautiful relationships because of that. I lost the trust in some people because of that, And I think there was nobody there to guide me or say, hey, you know what? That's not cool, man. You just don't do that. You don't treat someone like that, you know. And but again, everything I've learned the hard way, But again, I appreciate, watching someone like you who can treat everybody the same way, and I think that's so amazing. And for all of us, it's like, there's a couple things get on my nerves all the time. Instructors saying, "Oh, they're warriors." I'm like, what warriors? Most instructors have never been in a street fight. They call themselves warriors, or and anyway, so. I don't go there. But you know what I mean? Because
I
you just
do.
feel like we're supposed to be this thing. But everything goes back to ourselves and how we control ourselves. Because that's the only person I'm in charge with. And you always say that. Self-control. Even self-defense. It's not other people's defense.
Yeah.
It's self-defense. Defend against yourself, your urges, your temptation. Fight those. Those are the time you go to work. Fortunately or unfortunately, we don't have to fight for our food anymore. We can go out there and buy it. But those are the times we get to go to work.
That's right.
Right? And
but that's where the power. But that's where the power's at.
Yes.
Sensei Fireboard, the power is when the darkness presents it.
Right.
And you get a choice. Again, you get a choice to either fall into it or heal it.
Right.
And that's what this is all about.
Right.
The power's
Well,
in that journey.
Like I said, this is an ongoing discussion, and we're going to talk
Yeah,
about this. So
that's right.
we would love to know your feedback about you agree, don't disagree, or what it is, and kind of we can talk about more about. But I think this is like the big elephant in the room that nobody wants to talk about, and discuss this, open this discussion a little bit more. So thank you, Sensei. Do you have any last
My
thoughts?
pleasure. Well, it's like anything else. Is the dark presents itself that you may have an opportunity to get powerful with that. So with that being said, have a nice journey.